What up, boys? Today we're checking about the most painful punishment ever freaking existed. Sorry. The most painful punishment in human this thing. Let's get into it. My mic, hopefully it's good. I don't really care that much. My camera, it's kind of laggy. You can see my hand movement. I don't really care that much. Let's dive into it. Yeah. Hold up. Oh, which can I talk about this ones now? Now this is the best me, you go piss me off now. I go change and follow you. You can't talk with this one now. Start this thing for me.
Have something convincing.
Abi, abomination. First abomination. Let's go. What is abomination? Let's see what it is.
Oh, this shit sucks. You ever hear the term an eye for an eye? Well, the literal form of this would be the toe-curling, face-scrunching practice of abacination. Popular amongst ancient Greeks, Persians, and within the Byzantine Empire, abacination is a form of corporal punishment, meaning that the goal isn't death, but rather to teach the victim a lesson.
So, when they say something is abomination, this is what they are talking about. Interesting.
In this case, how not to see anymore. That's because abacination is the act of inflicting intentional or oftentimes irreversible damage to one's eyeballs.
Damn.
Hey.
Oh!
What the fuck? Your bulbous oculi have a myriad of nerves ready to send your brain big ouch signals the moment they detect discomfort. And boy, are they about to feel some discomfort. Although it was mainly used as a punishment for heresy or treason, the act of annihilating one's eyes existed all across human history.
Now I know why
one
it's
of
really
the
called
most popular
abomination.
examples of this was executed by Byzantine Emperor Basil II. After defeating the Bulgarians at the Battle of Cladion, Big Bad Basil had taken thousands of enemy soldiers hostage. He had ordered that the men be divided into groups of 100 and brought before him. It was then he had his men gouge out the eyes of 99 of the soldiers, sparing one who would be allowed to keep one eye. That lucky duck would be the one to lead his now blinded comrades back to their respective commanders. Now, according to legend, this mass blinding was conducted on 15,000 men, granting Basil II the vicious title of Basil the Bulgar Slayer. But how would this blinding actually be performed? Well, it's really up to how the person doing it felt that day. Traditionally, abacination was carried out by jamming a red-hot iron rod into the ocular cavity, essentially melting the eye from the skull. Other flavors of removal included scooping with a spoon-like device, slitting with a blade, using preposterous pressure to pop them like pimples, or just leaving it up to good old chemistry. Now, if you really pissed someone off, you would be strapped to a chair while corrosive liquid, usually boiling vinegar, was placed in soluble cups and positioned over your eyes. The corrosive agents would slowly eat away at the bottom of the cups, left to drip into your eyeballs, which would painfully dissolve away. At that point, you'd be luckier to die than to survive. But couldn't they just close their eyelids? Oh, you mean these? Yeah, they cut those off too. Don't worry, it was only a little painful. See what I did there? No, you didn't. That's fine. Strap in for the...
Bro, that's the first. But that's just the first. Abomination now. No, now I see why abomination is very painful. What's the other one? Tuberculosis.
Strap in for this one, cause that's exactly what's about to go down, and your legs are about to go up. This is the Tiger Bench, a Chinese torture device popularly used in China from the Imperial Age up through today. That's right, the International Society for Human Rights, a German-based non-governmental non-profit organization, claims that multiple inhumane torture devices like the Tiger Bench are still used on prisoners in China to this day for extracting confessions or flat-out torture just because. It's true, probably. And the same applied to its use in the Imperial Age. During the times of the Ming and Qing dynasties between the 14th and 20th centuries, the judicial system required a confession to legally convict a criminal for their crimes, since forensics at the time weren't all that great. Unless you had notable status to sway public opinion, the perpetrator would basically have to be caught red-handed by multiple witnesses. He ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times. He had it coming. But what do Tiger Bench do, you ask in poor English? It's very simple. The victim is delicately slammed onto a wooden bench in a sitting position, their hands and ankles bound by ropes, and their mouths gagged with, I don't know, probably a piece of cloth or something. They would also have their torso and thighs secured to the bench to prevent any unwanted thrashing from the pain that they're about to experience. One by one, bricks or wooden slabs would be placed under the victim's piggies, slowly elevating them higher and higher while the rest of their body remained locked in place. Now, unless you have the Tibio Taylor talent of a turkey, you can see where this is going. With each addition of a brick, your ligaments in your knees become hyperextended, painfully forcing your knee joint beyond its natural range of motion. If any of you less than limber people remember the ungodly sit and reach box from your middle school gym classes, just imagine that, but someone grabbing your arms and pulling you with all of their might. Then you might just get a lick of what that pain must feel like.
Damn!
The continuous hyperextension eventually leads to the shattering of the kneecaps and the splintering of the leg bones, utterly destroying muscles and tendons, rendering the victim's legs completely useless. Trust me, although this guy seems untroubled, inside, he's screaming. And if that weren't enough, prisoners would be bound in this position for days on end, to the brink of starvation and full sleep deprivation from the ongoing pain. Not only from the hyperextension, but from physical beatings to the rest of their body if they continue to refuse to confess. They don't know I'm a double-jointed masochist.
But I never knew tuberculosis was this bad though. You guys should start brushing your teeth. Start washing your teeth properly. Start washing your teeth properly. If not, this is what's going to happen to you. When you don't brush, when you get tuberculosis, this is the repercussion. Start brushing. What's this one? What? Saigon swimming. Let's see what it does. Probably swimming something.
Despite what the chill demeanors on these fellas' faces express, getting some
now that's a bad image. That image right there is bad. Please don't tell me they are swimming. Don't tell me he's about to drown him. And why is it so? What's that? Are they swimming him?
vertically in half is not a pleasant experience. Although the act of sawing has been present throughout many different cultures in history, ancient Roman and Chinese versions were mainly done transversely, or at the waist. But some sadistic buttholes thought, nah, not painful enough. Let's try a different axis. And you know what? Let's hang them upside down too. We'll start shredding the sack, split the crack, go down the hull and to the skull. The method is pretty self-explanatory. A victim will be hoisted up upside down with arms and legs secured to two posts, usually with their dangly bits out. The condemned would then have a big ol' saw ripped through their bodies like a slice of birthday cake. On the bright side, the poor soul would most likely be long dead or at the very least unconscious before the saw ever got that far, thanks to the excruciating pain and severe blood loss. Documented cases of this particular path of punishment are rare, but some stories have survived. The most known case being that of Simon the Zealot, one of the 12 apostles of our Lord and Savior.
Someone survived being cut into two. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Survived being... Yeah.
Jesus Christ. If you've ever seen Leonardo da Vinci...
What? Yeah.
Vinci's Last Supper, he's the less detailed guy all the way at the end of the table getting ridiculed by these two fine gents for asking, when can we eat? Very little is known about poor Simon at all, being only passively mentioned in the Bible. History states that he preached across Egypt and Persia, with the latter being the place of his demise. Apparently, the Persians weren't too happy with the door-to-door preachings of Simon, so much so that they saw to his end, literally. According to some historians, around the year 65 AD, at the age of 60, Simon was spread in two while spreading the word of the Lord. For his dedication to the J-Man,
Oh,
Simon was made
they
a
gave
saint
him
in
a
the Catholic
Sagan
Church, with
swimming.
many depictions of him holding a long saw, similar to the one that ripped through his being. Ironically enough, he was also made the patron saint of tanners and sawyers, which really sucks. I mean, imagine the way you died being your eternal legacy. Like, oh damn, guys, you hear
That
that
would be
Peter got
painful.
nailed by a 37 Nissan Altima last week?
That would be
Better make him the
painful.
patron saint of pedestrians. But hey, when you walk
That
with
would be
Jesus,
painful.
we're all jaywalkers.
The ants. What happened?
Oftentimes, we find that nature is already well equipped with possible torture resources, and it doesn't even have to be something large or intimidating. Sometimes it's the small things that pack the biggest punch. Well, turns out that quite a few groups of people around the world took advantage of nature's blessings. Like this little guy. This is a Pseudomyrmex triplarinus, but you can call it
I
a
can't
little
even
louse.
pronounce that.
This agonizing arthropod is a venomous species of ant most commonly found in the northern
Wow, they
areas
are
of South
fast.
America. These ants contain
can
a
swim through the
cytotoxic
wood.
venom, which if you remember my little toxins rhyme from my worst jobs in history video, you'd know that cytotoxins cause extreme cellular damage and painful swelling, making it a perfect tool for devastating torture. For this
Damn.
section, we actually have a very modern use case. Back in 2014, a group of Bolivian villagers in the province of Ayopaya apprehended a pair of teenagers accused of stealing several motorcycles. Since the
Okay.
run-of-the-mill judicial penal system wasn't deemed effective enough, the villagers took matters into their own hands.
Damn.
The two upstanding criminals, aged 18 and 19, were strapped to a tree infested with venomous ants.
Damn.
For 3 days. The young men writhed in pain
Damn.
for hours and hours
Hold
on
up,
end.
hold up. My PC is low. Continue.
Sustaining bites all over their bodies from head to toe. Chests
Damn.
were chomped, calves were crunched, nipples
Damn.
were nipped, and balls were
Damn.
bitten. It was only after being found by one of their sisters that the young men were
Dora! Wait. She was alive. She was real. And they didn't do anything to her. But she was alive.
freed from their pincer prison. Well, also after all of their relatives coughed up about $3,700 in cash as compensation for the bikes that were stolen. Gotta pay back your debt after all.
Damn.
Both men were rushed to intensive care, with one requiring dialysis to survive. But I bet they learned a valuable lesson. Don't take shit that doesn't belong to you. There have been other claims of ant torture throughout history, though, as a warning, these are more anecdotal than confirmed. It is said that the Apache people of the southern US and northern Mexico regions were
Okay.
capable of committing horrible acts of violence, but hey, when you're forced off your land, what are you gonna do? One such act was taking prisoners of war and burying them neck deep in the earth, allegedly near anthills containing red harvester ants. With a simple prod to the hill, thousands of ants pour out to defend their home, and being the nearest
Ooh.
target, looks like you're the culprit. The red harvester ant latches onto your skin with its strong,
Ooh.
shad-like mandibles and proceeds to repeatedly stab you with its stinger. Once stung, pheromones are released, chemically signaling other ants to swarm you. Your lips, your mouth, your ears, and even your eyes are all susceptible to the stings. The intense pain from just a single sting has been described as feeling like being prodded by a searing hot needle, lasting up to 8 hours. So
Damn.
it goes without saying that thousands of those would really suck. But don't worry, it's well documented that around 500 stings would be enough to kill a human. Now, you're probably getting all itchy just thinking about them things crawling all over you, aren't you? Well, now you are.
The trash.
Our last stop on this journey takes place in the big old continent of Africa. Having dealt
trash.
with colonization for centuries, the many countries of Africa are no stranger to
Aphrodite.
pain. In fact, they're pretty good at dishing it out, especially to each other. Now, the concept of
Aphrodite.
trial by ordeal is not exclusive to Africa. It's been seen across Europe, Persia, India, and Cambodia as well, but this segment focuses on Africa. Why? Because that's how I wrote the script and that's how I'm editing this video, so... Okay, so the idea behind the trial by ordeal is to determine the guilt or innocence of the accused through various means of torture. If you survive, you're innocent. If you die, you're
Okay.
guilty. Not that it mattered anymore, but there were many
What kind of bullshit is that? If you survive, you're innocent. If you die, you are guilty. Then, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the frick?
different ordeals to be trialed through. These are going to be a bit rapid fire, so stick with me. Speaking of which, the first one is the trial by fire. The accused would either be forced to walk along a length of hot coals, hold scalding hot metal, or retrieve items from cauldrons of boiling hot oil. If the victim showed no visible signs of injury, they would be considered innocent. But
no visible signs of injury. Are you mad? Like, what kind of bull?
That's just setting people up for failure. These examples of trial by fire have been historically documented across Togo, Nigeria, and Sudan. Next was
Nigeria, bro. God damn, they do this in my country. I never knew about that. Damn. God, you guys should chill out, bro. Nah, I need to talk to my people. They do this in my country. Yeah, bro. I grew up there and I've never heard of this before.
The self-explanatory trial by poison.
The
accused would drink toxic concoctions consisting of various local poisons. In Liberia and Ghana.
Nah, another stupid thing. If they die, if they don't survive, they are guilty. If they survive, they are innocent. Bullshit.
Victims enduring the trial would be forced to ingest the bark of the sassywood tree. All right, which one of you drank all the sassywood juice? No, I don't want to drink that stuff. Nope. Was it you? The bark of the sassywood tree contains erythroflein, a powerful poison that can fuck up your heart. But as long as you regurgitate that slop out of your system, you're right as rain, and considered innocent. Similarly, some prisoners in Sierra Leone or Nigeria would drink a solution.
Another from my country. Another from my country, bruh. From my country again, bro. Like, where are they doing these things? Because I've never seen this thing before.
Made from the calabar bean, which contains physostigmine, an acetylcholine esterase inhibitor. If you've never seen my chemical weapons video, this is just a fancy way of saying that it causes life-threatening seizures and a loss of your respiratory control, causing you to choke to death.
I've never done this before.
Water. Popular in pre-colonial Cote d'Ivoire, the accused would have their hands and feet bound and be tossed in the local river. Those who were able to break free of their bindings and swim to the surface were absolved of their crimes, while those who sank like stones were doomed to figuratively and...
Bro, such bullshit strays. What are they even talking about? Waiting be this? Yeah, let's go.
Literally drown in their guilt. Talk about washing away your sins. Well, that's all I got for this one.
So if they drown, they are innocent. If they don't drown, they are survived. Today was fun. Peace out, boys.